The Flowmaster Outlaw will be one of the loudest systems in the category for just north of $400, available for your 2007 to 2009 GT500 and all 2005 to 2010 3-valve GTs. Now, along with that deafening tone, the Outlaw will also deliver 409 grade stainless steel throughout, finished in the Flowmaster signature black paint, while the bolt-on install will get a simple 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, with a little bit more detail to come later in the video. But first things first, since this is an exhaust after all, let's break down the sound clips you guys just heard with our GT500. And as advertised, the Outlaw is an absolute screamer. Easily one of the loudest systems I've heard on the blown 5.4 and an easy 5 out of 5 on my 1 to 5 or 1 to wake the neighbors scale. And yes, while this thing is going to be brutally loud on the outside, you're also getting a bunch of volume inside the car as well, and that's something some owners might like and others maybe not so much. But one thing I do want to point out in Axle-Back videos in particular is to consider what your future plans are with your exhaust system, because as loud and angry as this thing sounds right now, you also have to keep in mind that was with the factory manifolds or headers still in place along with those factory cats. So remove those things in favor of some aftermarket long tubes or an off-road mid-pipe, and the sound will only get louder and only get crazier. Now, if you're cool with that, great, you're certainly in the right place. However, if the current volume level of the Outlaw is kind of tiptoeing on the line of being just a little too loud, well, it's only going to get louder with future modifications. So again, just something to consider down the road. But let's talk about why the Outlaw is such a head turner in the volume department. And I can honestly speak from experience on this one, guys, because I've actually assembled one of these Outlaws at the Flowmaster factory. Now, the Outlaw body itself starts out as a 4-inch piece of tubing and then is stuffed with 4 to 5 metal baffles all welded into place. Now, each one of these baffles is straight through by design, so you're getting a very free-flowing system and one that does allow for plenty of volume in the process. Now, as for the rest of the construction, you're going to be looking at that 409 grade stainless, which we pointed out earlier. Yes, that is a step up from aluminized steel when it comes to reducing corrosion over the years, even more so with that paint in place, but at the same time, it's not going to be as nice as that 304 grade stainless that you might find with some of the more premium systems. But as a result, the Flowmaster remains reasonable in the price department. Again, just north of $400 is what you're looking at here for this pretty affordable Axle-Back. Now, this thing also features the smallest amount of 2.5-inch mandrel-bent tubing, as you can see right there, and then finally does exit out the twin 4-inch tips embossed with that Flowmaster logo. Well, let's switch our focus over to the installation, and since this thing will bolt into place without cutting or permanent modification, figure a strong 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter here with the Flowmaster. And to give you a better idea of what's involved with this job, here is one of our AM techs with a walkthrough.
We'll begin this installation by raising the vehicle up so we can access the exhaust underneath. First step to removing these mufflers, we're going to use a 15mm socket. We're going to remove this clamp right here. Next, we're going to use a 13mm socket to remove the 2 bolts on the exhaust hanger. That way we can pull the muffler assembly out. So we're going to remove this secondary hanger right here. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to be 2 13mm bolts. There's one that's a little tough to get to. It's in between the frame and the muffler. So we're going to use a 13mm wrench to get that off. So now that we have both of our hangers off and we have our band clamp loose, we can go ahead and wiggle this muffler off. So we're gonna do the same thing for the other side. We're gonna loosen up this band clamp first, using a 15 millimeter. Once we have that loose, we can start taking off the exhaust hangers. We're gonna use our 13 millimeter wrench and remove the rear exhaust hanger. All right, so once you unbolt that rear clamp, you can go ahead and take it out. Use our 13 millimeter socket to remove the front exhaust hanger. We're gonna support our muffler slightly. Remove this front bolt. And we'll pull our hanger off. And then we'll wiggle the muffler off. So now that we have the factory exhaust removed, we're ready to install our new exhaust. We're going to begin by placing a pipe clamp onto the exhaust. And we're going to slide that up onto the existing pipe. We're going to take our hangers and install our hangers. Reinsert our factory bolts. So now that we have all of our hangers on, we're going to go around and tighten everything up. You want to make sure that the edge of the exhaust goes over that little hump and lines up, and then we'll go ahead and tighten this with a 15. We're going to do the same thing for the other side. You want to stick your pipe clamp on first. Once we have that on, we're going to slide it up onto the existing mid pipe. Then we'll get one of our hangers started. Then we'll get our front hanger on. Reinsert our factory hardware. Now that we have both of the hangers tight, we want to make sure that this pipe is all the way inserted up in there, and then we'll go ahead and tighten the clamp using a 15. And with everything tightened up, that wraps up our review and install. Check out more at AmericanMuscle.com.